And officially, good morning. Welcome to the Options Income Launchpad Wednesday market midpoint, though I guess really tomorrow's the midpoint since we only had 4 days, but we'll just go with the normal schedule. Good morning to you, Lee. Good morning, Sam. Sam, are you relatively new? I feel like I haven't said good morning, Sam, a lot, but I hope to. Morning, Sandy. Hi, Gabe. Good to see you. As always, keep in mind, education, illustrative purposes only. We don't give recommendations to buy or sell anything. We're not brokers. We're not advisors. Nothing we do should be considered personalized investment advice. Decisions made are at your own risk. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada. We'll look at how today opened. What are the changes? What are the changes that we may be sensing in the posture? Obviously, yesterday had an impact. We'll see how we continue, stabilize, reverse today. Mindset for trades. Few people stuck with NVIDIA. Sticking with trades has paid off in this bull market. We've had plenty of trades that recovered after some hiccups. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, let's go get into it. Used to be pretty regular, took a break. Excellent. Okay. That actually sounds familiar now. That you say it, so amazing. Welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, I'm still kind of getting set up here. Let's go take a look. Too many requests. I didn't know I could make too many requests. Can I open a new one? Or is that a new request? Too many requests. Does that mean I have too many windows open? How about now? Or is it just that page? Is anyone else having a hard time getting Yahoo Finance to work? Finance, yeah. Huh. Well, now that's interesting. All right. Only a couple of minor. So weird. Yahoo Finance is down. At least where I am. The big news is tomorrow. Today was not really any news expected. So let's just go take a look at some charts. You can see we're getting a stable day so far. An inside day, which is okay. Flat so far. Overall, how do we see this? For me, I'm definitely going to lower my market posture score for the short term. This wasn't much anyways. But I would still be kind of thinking if we hold here and then we start to turn out of it a little bit, and that's what we end up with. Yeah. One at best, maybe, right? But I'd probably drop my score a quarter of a point down to a 1. Still trying to hold up if it can today, tomorrow. Still could be a buying opportunity. We're going to go through the list. There's plenty of good things In the watch list, if you missed yesterday, we did a scan, a couple scans. We did tech. We only found 4 new ones, and one was an old friend, APH. We've got a few new ones. I'm actually going to add them while I'm talking so that they're there. And we'll see which ones they are. Error occurred. APH. Okay, that one went. TIMI. Did I write that wrong? Huh. What did I write down? Oh, it's so weird. I'm going to have to go back and watch the video. AMAT was a new one. AMAT, obviously strong. Also from that sector, ASX. Okay. And we did financials. Oh, and we did communication services. I'll get them in there. Let's talk about the market itself first. What's going on? Market's up a little bit. VIX is down a little bit. But we spiked. That's clearly going to take the air out of our market posture score. That could be a half a point on our volatility score. Quite disruptive. So if you day trade, you look at this and think, ooh, there could start to be a little bit more action in this elevated time. Now, if we smash back down, I'm going to draw a line right across here. And you'll notice it catches that and that and that. So, and it's sort of where the gap started. This gap here, gapped right through, tested above, coming down. If we do what we're talking about right now, where we stabilize and then we start to come out of it, the VIX would have to pop pretty hard. I would want to see something like this. You can see today we're still elevated, but if we can get a hard, push day, and it could be even bigger than that, right? It could even end up all the way down here. That's the kind of thing, where we think we've confirmed institutionally coming out of that situation there. So today I think is set up and possibly signals, and then you're hoping to see what tomorrow can bring. Okay. Thoughts, questions, comments? Okay. All right. So let's walk through the list now, because we're coming out of a big day of selling yesterday. Now what? Again, this one for me, we have earnings coming up. Otherwise, this would absolutely be what I'm looking for. So just as an opportunity to stop and be like, okay, let's quantify. What do we like? We like strong trends. We like higher highs. We like pullbacks in trend. And then we look to take the next move out of them. So if you were to look back at trade alerts, this is exactly what we're looking for. Unfortunately, these guys report earnings. It might even be tomorrow morning. No, tomorrow afternoon, after market. So Apple, you can see Apple. We talk about going in consolidation. It started back here. At this point, it's like, hey, this thing's just going. Now you can see that consolidation line has accelerated. So you've got earnings out here, but I'm not trying to. We said back in this situation, I'm very leery about trying to call bottoms on stocks in consolidation because these moves, there's hardly any meat on the bones. Then if you get on the wrong side of it, you can see how hard it cracks down, and then you're just waiting again. So for me, it's not are we looking to see if this is the bottom? My bottom would be out here somewhere, meaning it broke up. It showed the buyers had enough fortitude to smash through that. And then when they took a break, the profit takers, the sellers come in. And if there's still a bunch of them, they'll just push it right back down. So if it went straight back down, there's nothing there. But if it comes back down into here, now the sellers are more muted, and we're thinking this is where that next trend reversal can come. You can almost catch a whiff of this thing happening back right at the start of this chart. We got that first big move and pulled back, and then it started to turn. Ironically, we had a trade on that. And it worked. We ended up getting out around this area here. We adapted. You can see that's the second line. I don't remember if we put one on as a group. I'm going to say no. I think I took the next one. We put one on here. And I believe we did. I think we did all three of those. At least two of those. This was a great trade right back here. Very nice trade. Well, the expectation's there because of the trend. So right now, what's our expectation? Nothing. I have no expectations from Apple. I would love for Apple to become bullishly tradable again because, as we know, Apple is a very large part of both the NASDAQ and the market overall. So this is both Apple and Microsoft are a drag on technology right now. Vladimir, good to see you. Now, the other thing you guys might have missed, and there was some jitters probably, but we had our first open mic night last night, Glenn and I, where we were going to open it up, let you have like a question for coaching, or I would love to see those become like trade, either like a post-mortem or like a setup, or where someone's like, hey, I'm thinking about taking this trade. Can we walk through it? And we'd be like, yeah, let's, and ask some questions and look at some support levels and projections and how do the options look, things like that, in a live trades, live setting. That's what I'm looking for. So if you're thinking to yourself, okay, maybe a trade you want to learn something from, what happened? So anyways, but we didn't have any takers yet. We're just priming the idea. I said this, and I said, don't force it on the first time, but somebody has to at some point say, long-time listener, first-time caller. That at some point, make it organic. It'll be great. All right. ADM is new. It's new because it's shown the breakout. What are we looking for now? Well, we'll wait. We'll see if it has a little bit of a pullback and then gives us an opportunity for a trade. We know this is a defensive stock. It might give one chance. If there is a defensive surge, there's an ability to put something on. Applied Materials, new. Strong trend, strong momentum. This one just came on from searching yesterday. So here's the other thing I'll say. Over the past week or two, as we've moved into the new year, we have cleansed. We've been dropping from the watch list. Last week we added from 4 sectors It was on the 15th. We searched industrials, materials, consumer discretionary, and staples. A bunch of new candidates. Find the momentum. That's the thought process. So whenever we're looking at the watch list, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go update and date, so you know when it was updated, and you'll be able to go download that from the resources, or you can just sort of watch and note. Last night, we did the remaining two. We did technology. Interestingly, I think we already had a pretty good representation of technology, and technology has shown a little less momentum, but we put 4 more on, and then financial services got a good number. We'll see how they hold up when we look at their options. And communication services, there's a couple. Let's just see here. Watch list is actually kind of long. I'm just going to put these in real fast as we're going through. Let me know if you have any questions. About what's going on. But right now, this market is still, I think, bullish opportunity. So as we look through this watch list, my expectation is not anything other than, do we have a bullish trade? Do we have a bullish setup? And we had several candidates last night as we walked through things. And if you think, Scott, it sounds like you're stalling, because I'm entering these so that you can see them all. Only have 2 more. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. All right. Applied material. I'll try to flag the ones that are new. Now, here is an old friend. So if you're thinking to yourself, Scott, are you thinking about this for a trade? Yeah. The last one we took back in this area. I think we took it right here pretty early. Now, it went slow. It never broke support, but it certainly tested some things, and then bam. And you can see here, we have our pullback, stochastics, reloaded, starting to turn and cross. This might even give us a... So I wouldn't need to put my stop all the way down here. Aggressively, you could be pretty snugly underneath this, pretty snug. I sometimes will take this and I'll go to the previous candle's body and just give it a little more room. So instead of 48.50, maybe 47.70. So there's a little bit of wiggle room. The most conservative stop went all the way back here, but we'll see. Actually, I'd probably stay with this one. A lot of times my stop, quote unquote, is end of day. You'll notice on a few of the trades that we've had, intraday hard stops can sometimes pick you off. So end of day is it closed, or it's looking like it's going to close, where a lot of those days, by the end of the day, it's recovered, and you're like, tell me if that makes sense and what experiences you've had with it. Another one setting up. Let me get out of the Heikin-Ashi. So, candidate. And you can see, what would we be thinking for this one? It's spitting pretty good moves lately. This one was, I'm not even going to give it the last little bit. Let's just go here to here. 30 to 43.5, so 13 13.5, 14 here. We went from 40 to 53. There's 13 there. So it's making 13-point moves. If it's going from 47, let's say 60 is the target. It's 9 points, because maybe 60 and change. So around 8.5, 9 points left. And if I put my stop, let's go back to that other perspective for just like a consideration. Yeah, it's around 48-ish. So that's about 3 1/3, and I'm getting 9, 8.5, 9. So a little under 3 to 1 right there. Okay. Okay. That's a possibility. Amazon. Ooh, we got to get out of these candles. I was hopeful it held in there. Obviously, not many things held yesterday, so we have to take that into account. Now it's still at a higher low, still holding around the 50, above the 100. Maybe your stochastics is pinching. What would I want to see? It's a little anticipatory right now. I want to see the buyers take it. And I don't think I would look for the old highs. I'd probably look for, that's my first target, and then maybe a little bit more. Maybe a second target, which is pretty close to that level in there. Not the extreme, but at least that range. Had a good surge last time. We'll see if it can stabilize and give that. APH is an old friend. If you look to the left, you can see lines of trades we, I think, took. Though this one, there may have been a few people who lasted through that. That was a long one. You'll notice it actually never closed below support, but it did sort of pop around a little bit and did its thing. So, there's what we think trades should look like, and then there's what trades actually look like, where it's like, okay, how do we get the fortitude to stay, to be like, it's still okay. Let's go. Let's hold. We try to set targets. We do whatever we can. That's the answer. Right now, this one just made a move. So we just seem a bit overextended, like it's turning into consolidation. And there are earnings here. So we may or may not see this produce something in time for earnings. ASX is new. Nice strong move up. We're now into the sellers have the floor, so it's starting to consolidate. We've turned over. What's the thought process here? Right now, I would consider this a flag, which means any kind of a pop out of this would just be, looking for one of these shorter term moves, maybe. And then if it doesn't do that, I'm thinking maybe through here it's a good. This moving average is moving pretty fast, so we had a little hiccup right through there. So I would imagine anything above that, but a consolidation in that area would be would look something like this over here. We're watching. It's new. I haven't checked the options for this. Why doesn't it say? Is this not connected? There we go. Oh yeah, I don't know. The options don't look good at all, actually. Well, actually, that's not true. But let me tell you why I initially said that. You're like, what are you looking at, Scott? First of all, you can see there's no weeklies. There's literally only 4 months of options. What do I think I'm going to see when I open this up? I think I'm going to see low volume, probably low open interest, and wide spreads. So there's your volume. 1, 4. This is the Febs. That's 30 days. If we go out to the March, actually the March has quite a bit. I'm like, these are not. I wouldn't trade these. You can see, look at the open interest, or look at the spreads. But this is a kind of an anomaly where I guess you actually could come out here to March. And you can see there's 30-cent spreads here, 30 here, 20 here, 1,800, 5,300. I don't know. There's only one right now. I feel like that's deceptive. I don't know. Yeah, I guess theoretically, we could see there's viability of a market here. There's enough open interest. It's so strange that that's the number, but that's the volume. I've never seen we're 30 minutes in and it's a contract. One contract. It's traded. Okay. We're going to keep an eye on this one. I was going to toss it, but I'm going to keep an eye on this. What do the Junes look like? Junes have a decent amount. If you look at this right here, I've never seen. Why would someone buy a 2250 for 70 cents when they can buy a 20 for 70 cents? It's very strange. It's a very strange set of options. Okay. Stop trying to distract us, ASX. Let's move you back. Though that's the kind of thing we are looking for on some of these new candidates. So we'll leave that there for now. AXP, a little bit of recovery there, but we're watching to see what happens. Alibaba up. You can see it's like, well, is that enough? Do we think that's a break of the flag, or is it still in the flag? For me, because this is new, I'm definitely still watching this for the consolidation. I would never jump on something like that for a new stock. Though I will say that the open interest has tens of thousands. Spreads are much tighter. Well, there's still a little bit of width to them. And I'll tell you this, when you see implied volatility spike, you will also see just an overall widening in bid-ask spreads everywhere, across the board. Across the board. SPY trade ups. Nice, Doug. Very nice. Bank of America, no. So there are setups here. BCS is new. We're watching this. Bud, not yet. Citigroup is starting to show some stability that might become tradable bouncing out of this. So I'm going to actually put Citi on the list as well. AMKR is our first. Citi. Starting to see the makings of a trade where if we got enough, or if we got a second day, we've got a nice support level through here, sitting right on top of the 50. Citi's definitely a leader. Caterpillar in consolidation, not yet. We got earnings to contend with, not too far out. CF is new, a little overextended. Sienna kind of sideways. Coherent kind of sideways. Cisco. So I think Cisco had this consolidation right through here. And I said, yeah, you know what? It wasn't a huge pop. So I like to call that the sneaky reversal, where it came in and you're like, well, you know, it tried. Now, the next thing you'll notice back here did the same thing. It tried, popped up, came back, and then that was it. So if this just keeps on dropping, then nothing. We do nothing. If this time, though, it all of a sudden turns around out of this, this thing all of a sudden whips up there, now we have a trade, right? This is the kind of thing that we're looking for that says, hey, this is the potentially start of this next new move up where we regain some of those old highs. So, yeah, not yet on this one, but we're watching it. That's close. Delta, no. Dow looks okay today, up 0.66. A new one, basic materials. We've seen a lot of strength in basic materials as we've watched sector rotation. Dow Chemical. Earnings are $129. That's a week from tomorrow. Yeah, that's maybe, you know, I mean, you can see it's pulled back. It's starting to turn a little bit here. There may be a little momentum trade that comes in on Dow. Mid volatility. Let me see here. Let me get the February options. Yeah, February options. It's an interesting one. 25, 27.5. So the 2.5 increments is where all the activity is. But yeah, there's 10,000 contracts. Spreads about 11 cents. Okay. Viable. Estee Lauder is new. You're seeing a very similar kind of a move setting up there. Cosmetics. Ford, we've been watching. That looks very close. You can see your stochastic starting to turn. What's the thought process? Where's your stop? Where's your stop? Where's your target? Now, why am I looking for uptrending stocks? Because a lot of times I'm looking to get my first target at the old high. And then say, all right, now it's not a huge higher low, but maybe a little bit more as well. So something like this. And I say, there's my risk level. These are my reward levels, and there's a little bonus plus. And we see if we can't catch these types of moves. And you can see sometimes it moves up and then stalls, and then it gets the rest. And it makes the move, but it took a little longer. And so this one moved pretty quickly. Yeah, Ford, viable. Thinking about that one. Fox. Now, Fox. Right now is a little less likely if it finishes back where it was today, something like that. You'll have a cross down here. Same type of a setup. Let's zoom in one click. Okay. Let's walk through this exact trade. Okay, so we're going to assume we're here. Right now, we're 39 minutes in. This trade becomes a trade if later in the day there's a little bit more evidence that the buyers are indeed taking control. The trend looks good. Stop loss, we'll probably give it a little bit of room underneath here. And there's your risk level. This was the last one that we said looks pretty reasonable. Let's just pull this over. Will it let me put it in there? I don't know if it will. I need more room for a minute. Bear with me. For just 1 second. Let's put this in and let's move it back. Time axis 7. Okay, there we go. And let's see. Sorry, I want to get one more instance of this open. Target in this situation, and now I can use this line. 71.37. No, start. 80.29. That's the start line. 80.29. So let's do this. Oh, wait a second. I thought I had looked at these options. This is a little embarrassing. But the Fox options, let me go to March. We've seen where March have, yeah, they look horrible. Anyone look at that? What is going on? What is going on? Man, it trades an average of 3 million a day. I would have thought this had better options. I think I maybe either assumed it or just never dug into those. And now that we're looking at the trade, it's falling apart anyways. You've lost your line, Fox. You're off the list. All right. We have more. Don't worry. We have more. GE. Gold. Whew, gold's another 2% today. Let's go look at our bet. We had a bet. Looking at silver, we said, is it going to get to 80 or 100 first? 80 or 100 first. Got to 95. So some people, this was back in this area. Does it drop back to 80 or up to 100 first? It was sitting right around 90 at the time. I think we are more 80s than 100s, or maybe it was 50-50. Anyways, looks like it could be actually 100. GM, how much time do we have? A little bit of a momentum trade there. 127. We've got at least a few days. And we have a close to the next. Okay, we'll see. This one's starting to look promising. Oh, Google. Google is definitely one I want to trade again. We had a few trades on Google back in the day, and a few people took a trade in here that we talked about. Wasn't an alert per se, but yeah, love to trade Google. I think there's one setting up for us there. Goldman Sachs, post earnings. Home Depot. Oops. Howmet. The list is very bullish, and the list still looks good. IBM, I'm two sideways. I'm going to keep IBM, but oh, look at Intel, still going, still going. Earnings are coming up. 122 tomorrow after market. All right. This thing overperformed. So whatever it's doing now, there's no like, oh man, we should have. There's no, our trade expired actually last week. Anyway, so you got what you could have got. We squoze every ounce of juice we could. Some people more than others. There was plenty of profit along the way on this one. And this is another one where the entry came, gapped down, but finished okay, and then went. So that's the hoping to get another trade out of it, just like AMKR. We had one back here. Now what? We want another one. Yeah, I would say there's a good chance AMKR becomes a trade today. If I was going to bet the alert. Where was I? Lumenta. Oh, no. IW. Let's see. IVZ. A new one. Probably not a signal yet, but still watching it to see. Here's small caps today. Back up 1.5%. They've almost recovered everything. Small cap strength is bullish. We love to see that. Lumentum, gapped up, pulled back though. Lam Research, earnings coming up. The stock looks strong. MasterCard, no. Meta, no. Monster, huge day yesterday, and it's giving back some now. So a little bit inverted to the market itself. Morgan Stanley setting up. Great trend, market leader in financials. Looking for this thing to hold support. Microsoft, no. Micron just can't stop, won't stop. Netflix had earnings. They gapped down, recovered a little, still just dumpster diving. NU is new. We just found it yesterday. Today it's moving. I'm a little thinking, let's see these options. Actually, the options look pretty good. This thing trades a ton. I see 4 cents, 2 cents. Yeah, the options are pretty decent in here on NU. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe a momentum trade there. NVIDIA. Some people held. This thing looked like it was going to turn, started to move, and then yesterday happened. It got caught, swept up in there. NatWest Group, another financial. Let's see the options here. Nah, they're not good enough. They're not good enough. This is kind of like the second phase of getting a new stock on our watch list. Is it a leader is it in a strong sector? Is it a leader in its group? And does it support the option liquidity we're looking for? NWG, new. Oh no, wait, we just got rid of that one. Picard, new. Options, no. Picard is off the list to prevent us from getting caught up in a trade that's just not going to materialize. Let's keep going. PLTR down a little bit. The NASDAQ is trying to stabilize. You can see was there news that caused the drop specifically to the any one stock or the market itself. Just a reaction to the market. Yeah, a reaction to tariffs, like Greenland retribution tariffs, apparently, and escalation in whatever that's going to be. So that was the core catalyst. Looking to put 10% tariffs on 8 of the European countries. Apparently they have some sort of a, I didn't know this. Did anyone know this? Did you catch this? They have a trade bazooka. Did you guys hear that term? Or like some sort of a trade something, but it's a bazooka. And this is like a, huge thing that they would implement that would take a long time to implement, that like puts up trade barriers and shuts things down. And it's like this whole like defensive I'm going to look it up. Look it up. It's the EU trade bazooka. What do I think about the yen carry trade and what? I'll be honest, Doug. I have kind of an ebb and flow in my Forex watching. There are times where I'll be like, all of a sudden I'll have 5 or 6 pairs that I'm watching pretty closely. And then there's times where like I just don't watch any pairs. I watch this, the bullish dollar index. And right now I'm in one of those, like, haven't been watching the Forex market much. So I have not watched the yen. It's affecting banking. Yeah, I mean, when we were getting into the trades, getting into things yesterday, regional banks was one of the strongest. There was a ton of regional banks with so I don't know what the impact is, but the stocks have been quite strong for regional banks. Big banks. Okay. Makes sense. The real bullish. It's kind of a slow, it's slowed down. You can see back in September and October when we first got attracted to it, it was popping, moving. And now all of a sudden it's still bullish, but it's a lot more stable. Yeah, we'll still maybe we end up with like some kind of a spread that takes slow moving and does well with it. The vol is down from where it was back in September and October. The volatility you can see on the left there, much higher. Right now we're lower and stable, but 78 is still pretty high. Rocket Lab, we've had a good trade on Rocket Lab recently. We'd love another one. And you can see it is flagging. It's in consolidation. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th day comes out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th day comes out of it. We're on day 2. So if it sticks to the same general pattern that it's on, I would say a few more days before this thing slides into a good trade, but 100% I'm looking for that one. 70 to, this thing moved. Even if we take that out, that's like a 22-point move. You put that extra little bit in there for that day, and then maybe it's 26. So looking for this to pop up to 115 or so, probably. At least 110 when it pops out of this. RKT is new, also close to a setup. Let's give these options a little peek. Oh, yeah. Looks good. I'm looking in the Febs. Plenty of places with thousands, a few places with tens of thousands open interest. Pretty tight spreads across the board. I mean, not amazingly tight. Like I said, there's still a little bit of width, but these are very tradable. RKT stays, setting up. Ross Stores. I'd still be looking for more consolidation. Same thing here with RTX. Banco Santander. This was one of this was a diversified international bank. But I'm looking at the options and it's not gonna hold. So this one's out. Good looking price action. Options not good enough. Here's another new one, SATS. Ooh, Echo Star. It does have weekly options. But I'm looking at the monthlies and it is not. So here's another one that's interesting. Let me bring this over and show you. As we have our spring cleanup and our watch list, you can see I've got weeklies, but weeklies that are only trading. This is probably its last round of weeklies. And you can see when you look inside of these, 570 by 680. 540 by 720. So it's a barren wasteland of illiquidity. So it's funny because sometimes without weeklies it can have options. Sometimes weeklies with weeklies it doesn't. There's one set here. We're not going to go chase. You got 500 here. That's still 20% wide. 700 here. That's 25% wide. March has thousands, and you're still just unable to. You're paying a market maker too much. So for that reason, we're voting you off the island. The final stage of we're doing a better job this time. Let's see silver today, pulling back a little bit. SNDK, strong. It's just a freight train though. SPY is looking good. Supportive of a potential trade today. Here's another new one from financials. State Street. State Street options. No weeklies. Oh man, they're like on the bubble, but I'm gonna actually say no. State Street doesn't make it. STX, Seagate Technologies. Of course, we know we like this one already. It's a little overextended. Earnings are coming up. Cisco is another new one for us. Why can't I see? Cisco, you can see the pullback. It's a race. It's stabilizing. Can it turn? Does it give us enough? Maybe there's something there for a few days. TD, Toronto Dominion, new options. Okay. This one's interesting. Let me show you. I keep like bringing this over. I'm like, let me show you. Only February's. But you'll notice here, I've got 500 and 20 cents. I've got 1100, 15 cents, 162, 25 cents, 778, 20 cents. Now, if you go real deep, it starts to widen, which means you've got a range in here. You've got a range of the 90 through about 97.50, 7.5 points, with one extra that looks like it's holding up as well. You can see pretty good replication of that. Slips a little bit here. So this is right on the bubble. Not a lot going on. Only 3 contracts, 2 contracts. We're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to keep an eye on this one. This is right on the bubble. Anything less than this, we would be like, no, not good enough. I hope that today's liquidity discussion is helpful. If you've ever been like, what are we looking for? So TD's gone. TJX. Oh gosh, I'm almost out of time. TJX. You guys saw where the higher up where the alerts likely are coming. What's building? TJX looks good. Tesla trying to recover. TSM setting up maybe here. TSM is one of the strongest in semis right now. Vail overextended. Viking trying maybe. We'll see. Today's VIX. Ooh, it's now dropped pretty well. We've talked about this kind of a setup as a catalyst, right? I mean, this is not a huge spike, but you'll notice a lot of times when it spikes up and then it gets a strong move, like here, it finishes. Here, it finishes. So we're thinking, does it do the same thing coming out of this? If so, today's our day. VOD, iffy. WDC still showing strength. Walmart. Okay, Walmart, we had one. Now we're doing what? Looking for the next one. Could be anywhere in here. We had to be pretty patient for that last one to come. Okay. Yeah, I'd say odds are 60%, 70%. We get an afternoon alert based on what I'm seeing here. We've done some cleansing. I feel like everything that belongs on the list should be on the list. There's probably a little more that's going to come off, but it's at a good enough place that I'm going to go ahead and update it and save it. So maybe I'll even announce it and put a link to it so that you can download it and have it. But yeah, the watch list is strong. It's a good list. A lot of strong, a lot of good liquidity, a lot of market leaders in there. That's where we're looking for trades. Okay, so tomorrow, Glenn in the morning, Glenn and I in the evenings, open mic. We're going to try it again. We're going to give it a shot. We'll eventually bring it here too. We'll get like some trading time segments where we kind of open it up, but we want to just start to get comfortable with how we do it logistically in those evening sessions. So make sure you come with your questions, come with your trade ideas, come with your post trades that you want to learn from and allow the group to learn from as well. All right, it's great to see you guys. Keep your eye on your emails and your texts for later this afternoon. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy trading.